So we'll get started. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is that what you were talking about? So you said pink there?
It confused me at first.
Yes, it's an echo.
Hello, Aaron. Before we get started, I wanted to present this to Edith for 20 years of dedication and service to the town of Canandaigua. Thank you so much, Edith.
Oh, I am so old. Thank you.
Thank you.
That comes with a pension.
Yes, I know, I expect a pay raise, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So have,
Thank you.
oh,
No,
I think that's
it's a
Justin.
pleasure,
Thank you.
actually. This is,
We'll wait for him. Well, thank you so much, Edith.
Mhm.
They gave it to me a little while back and we just haven't been connected.
yes, well, last month was high school graduation.
Very
My
nice.
grandson, I could
Very
not
nice.
miss.
Hi, Justin.
Hello, can you hear me all okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Sorry,
Thank
I had
you
a
so
little
much.
issues getting logged in here, but we're good now.
No worries. So, let's see. We have a couple of guests. Dan, are you sitting in for something in particular with the group tonight?
Nope, I'm just listening in tonight.
Okay,
I'm actually down in my office just working on some other things, so I thought I was listening at the same time.
perfect. Thank you so much. And we also have Tom Schwartz. We do usually have a privilege of the floor coming up. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about, Tom? Okay. Let's see. There, I guess. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the last month's minutes,
Second?
I was not here.
but you could have.
Oh, well, I did, but.
Okay, was that okay?
Yes, as far as I could tell.
I'll take that as a second.
Yes, okay.
All in favor?
Hi.
Thank you so much. Privilege before. Mike, do you have a report from the development office?
It was relatively slow this month. I don't think there's much coming next month for us here, but no, nothing new.
Okay. I hope your surgery went okay.
Sore and very tired,
Mm,
but it seems like this is it. I'm done.
Okay.
good.
Well, I'm thinking about you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's see. We do not have any referrals from the town board, but it's not really so much a referral from the ordinance committee as it is from the development department. What we have on our agenda tonight, they're actually looking for feedback before they make changes to the Ridgeline guidelines and the shoreline guidelines. So you may not have realized that going into this. So if you have any, hello Gary,
Hi.
we're just getting going.
Okay. There was some Zoom hiccups I had.
Well, thank you for joining us. So that's pretty much all we're gonna talk about. So I'm gonna leave those for right now and I'm gonna skip forward and touch on the other things. Newsletter's coming up. I got an article from Pat. Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.
If anybody else has any articles that they wanna submit, the newsletter will go out. I forget the exact date. It's the third Friday. So, that's coming up rather quickly. So if anybody has anything, be happy to take that.
There was I got copied in on a meeting on the oak wilt that the Finger Lakes Land Trust did down in, I guess, Naples.
Yeah.
Are you overwhelmed with information on that, pretty much?
I'm very aware of it.
Yeah, we are aware of it, but,
It's here.
I think I have it in my computer, if you would like me to send it to you.
oh, sure.
Okay.
Because it was the night of our last meeting, because I would have gone to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's important for people to realize what it is, because it really changes when you prune.
Yeah, you wanna do all your pruning in the winter when they're dormant.
Correct.
Yeah, we did have a display in the
Mm-hmm.
stairs about that.
I'm getting real nervous about this one. This one
Yes.
could be our next.
It could be really bad, yeah.
Well, it showed maps and where it is.
There's one at the yacht club.
Yeah,
Oak Tree, I don't know, I'm not a member there, I just happened to be there sailing with somebody and I showed it to Greg Radak, he's a groundskeeper.
mhm.
And I said, Greg, isn't that Oakville? Yeah, I said,
Oh,
okay.
take care of it,
Yeah, before it,
Yeah, she needs to be gone.
And it needs to be down and the roots, if there's another one close, the roots.
Yeah, I don't think there was, so that was
There's
the
not, okay.
In that thing, there may be a contact
okay,
person at the DEC or something, but yeah, they're trying to, you showed a map where,
Very
there
good,
are
yes,
various-
yeah.
Yeah.
and it wasn't at the yacht club, so.
And
It was
will-
not.
No. It will
But-
spread on the air too, and a
I
strong wind, which we've had a bunch
The air,
of, yeah.
the roots.
Yeah.
And bugs.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad,
there's beetles that will take it a lot.
yeah, they feed,
So, a lot of ways it can spread, so it is,
certainly, when you watch what happened with the ash trees, that it
And the
makes your
hemlocks,
heart sink with, yes.
the hemlocks are gonna be much more,
Yeah,
that's gonna be another more devastating. I mean, you go over to Hemlock Lake, they're gonna have to change the name because there's no live hemlocks on Hemlock Lake anymore.
well, so the problem with that, of course, is the erosion in the gullies, because the
Right.
hemlocks are what are keeping the gullies intact.
And they also provide cooling.
Right, keep trout streams cool enough.
yeah, yep,
Really, the only thing that grows in that kind of poor soil and that kind of poor light is not desirable. Buckthorn,
Buckthorn.
boxelder, autumn olive.
I can rerun the Oakville article
I
that,
think that'd be fine.
I'll rerun that, cause this is the time where everybody's out like,
Yes, watch for it, really, they need
Yeah.
to be looking
That's
for it.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If it continues to be warm, they're gonna have leaves that are gonna get change color anyways.
Right.
So that'll make identification tougher.
Yeah, but oak's pretty tolerant of it.
yeah, they are pretty tough, so. But, yeah, well, I will rerun that in the upcoming newsletter. And it's good to reshare some of that information. Let's see, in the display case.
Yeah.
I forget what's in there now.
Yeah, where is
Oh,
that?
it's shrubs, it's upstairs.
Shrubs.
Yeah,
It's right here in the hall, the
in
display
the
case.
hallway, yeah.
Right
Right
outside.
I'm
past
talking
it.
about the thing with all the brochures in it that
Oh.
used to be.
Oh,
Yeah,
Some
I,
of that, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what happened to that.
It was right there when you walked in the door.
Right, we
Yeah.
had a lot of good stuff from
Yeah.
Yeah.
DEC and so
Yeah,
on.
all kinds of things, yeah.
I can
Where is
ask
that? Yeah.
the town clerk. I can ask about that, cause that might
It's
be,
gotta be somewhere, you don't throw
yeah,
a thing like that
might be in
away.
one of the storage units out there
It's in the
still.
basement somewhere.
Or maybe
Yeah.
basement.
Uh,
So I will ask, do you have something new coming up for the display case?
Oh, I'm thinking about it. I did 5 sessions of recycling for one of the middle school.
Oh, yeah, how'd that go?
Just great. it was really fun. The kids were great, in spite of warnings from the teachers, but it was fun. What surprised me was that they knew the origins of paper materials. They had no idea where plastic came from. They had no clue about mining or the role of electricity in making aluminum, and that we had no aluminum mines per se in the States anymore. You know, there are a couple of smelters, but very small mining things. And mostly it's shipped in from Brazil and Jamaica and places like that, where they're stuck with the mining runoff and
And
debris.
different environmental
Oh,
standards.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But the whole thing about microplastics was brand new to them. And I thought it was interesting that they did not know that plastic was a petroleum product, and we talked about how molecules can move and why you don't microwave in plastic and that sort of thing. So it was interesting. I had an Amazon box, one of that stuffed with paper, that my friend had ordered a package of paper pre-diabetic strips.
Yes.
So here was this enormous box and all this packaging, and it was holding a box this big of paper strips.
I've experienced that too, and it's
Yes.
nuts.
Yes, it is. And, and we talked about that if you've got to have recycling, you've got to have a market for the materials, about the landfill closing, and, and I apologized to them. I said, I'm sorry, you're stuck with this, You're paying taxes for it for the rest of your lives, I have threw away a plastic bag today that's going to last for 500 years in the landfill. It was a very interesting session, and as far as some of the research on microplastics that they have done was interesting, because you have it in every cell in your body. Unborn children have it in their bodies. And the latest thing I have read about it, which I didn't say to the kids, is that the average adult's brain has as much microplastic in it as would make a plastic spoon.
I heard that recently too.
Yes. And of course, there has been almost no investigation as to whether this is harmful or not, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
it was a very interesting session.
Well, thank you for doing that. And that was middle school.
That was
right?
middle school, yes. It was a couple of home and careers day things, It was quite interesting. I really had a good time. The kids were great, It was just, it was really fun. I walked in with my big box of trash.
And left it there when your kid left.
Well, no.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we did talk about composting too, and that sort of thing, so
Very
it
nice.
was,
It just came to mind. Remember when cell phones came out? Wasn't there something about you getting radiation from the cell phones?
I think,
Was that debunked?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think the cell phone companies debunked that.
yes, I know, that's the thing. You think about where the grant money to investigate things.
Well, you think about, it's microwave energy, and we use microwaves to cook our food, so I'm thinking, they're out there.
Yeah, well, I don't put mine under my pillow, I'll tell you that.
But so many people, so many people walk around like
I
this.
know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I
it's
use
true.
a speaker because my hearing's not that good, and that's just easier for me.
Yeah.
But very nice. So are they gonna have you back each year?
Oh, yeah, I'm pre-invited, yeah.
We'll probably have to go to other schools out of the district.
Well,
Well,
that's
fun.
great though.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even if it sticks with a couple people, that's
Well,
that's what you really
it was
want.
fun. The kids were very responsive and interested, and even though it's getting toward the end of school and all that, but they were.
Very
It was
nice.
really a good experience. It was fun.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much.
What's that in conjunction with?
It's their home and careers, whatever,
But you do that as,
just as a special program. It's one of their.
who pays you or doesn't pay you?
Nobody pays me.
So you're
I just do it. I'm a
you're
volunteer. Yeah,
educator.
yeah. I'm a volunteer. It's like,
But it was kind of part of your career to begin with.
Well, it's one of the things I know about. It's like doing fossils at Ononda for Watershed Day. It's something I know about. So it's good to
Yeah, the
do, which I did do too.
middle school teacher reached out and then just
Yeah,
volunteered
she
for it.
connected me
Yep.
with that, and it was fun.
I went to the watershed, or the Canandaigua Lake Watershed Alliance, I think is.
Yes.
And they were talking about Nadia Harvo
Mm-hmm.
is one of the educators.
With Hobart, she's with Hobart.
Well, but she's involved in educating kids about the watershed and
Yeah.
all that. They have supposedly, and I think the figure was 45,000 kids in the last year, or last 10 years or something.
Yes.
They've been sharing a lot on their Facebook page where they're like, got the kids out and they're in the water with waders and they've
Stream
got,
sampling out.
yeah, they've got a lot of different things. I know they just sent me a flyer for the newsletter. There's a lot of programs this month. So,
Yeah,
Very cool.
Stream sampling is always fun.
yeah.
love doing
I think they had them doing things with young trout, putting trout in the lake. So
Mhm.
it was kind of neat. So, do you have a report from the tree team at all?
The tree team is still going around looking at town properties and assessing the health of the trees, and in general saying the same things that we have said for the last 2 years, that some trees need to be taken down because they are dead and they are encroaching on playing fields, and that is a hazard, and it would be a liability to the town, if these things are not down. We looked at a couple of places where invasive species are getting quite out of hands. Sandhill Cemetery in particular, it has a great deal of ailanthus trees that the spotted lanternflies use. The cemetery committee went in and cleaned up the fence line and did not herbicide the sprouts. So there are
Just sprout everywhere.
many
Yeah.
more sprouts. Those trees need to be cut and immediately herbicided, immediately.
Yeah.
You have about 15 minutes on an ailanthus tree before the hormones go out through the roots and tell the sprouts to start going. There is members of the tree team, besides myself too, recommended this, but it was not done.
Okay.
And so it needs to be redone and herbicide applied instantly. The Peanut Line Trail has had some of the dead ash removed, which is a good thing, but there's one really enormous dead ash there that is still hanging over the trail and it needs to be taken off. Which won't be easy, but it would be better than having it fall on somebody when they're walking their dog or whatever. And the there is an observation deck that an Eagle Scout made to look over the culvert and the little creek that's down there. And that has not been maintained very well. It probably needs to be inspected for structural soundness if anybody is going to use it, either repaired or removed if they're not going to maintain it. Because the bank has eroded away from the supports in a couple of places. And there is a hellish amount of poison ivy. You can't really write that, but some of it was coming off of the trees and out into the trail at about 4 or 5 feet high, which is eye level with a kid.
Hmm.
And that looks dangerous to me. That, poison ivy will go down with a spray. Or, if you weed eat it, it would be down and nobody'd get it. It wouldn't kill it, but it would be safer.
Okay, I made some notes. I forgot to pass along. You had sent me, I think it was minutes from the tree team. And there were some other things.
There's some other stuff too,
So-
but those were the main things that
Yeah.
we were kind of.
I'll send that to Jim and Greg, because
Okay.
those would be the people.
Does the town have a arborist or part-time arborist?
We have 2 arborists on our tree committee. They are, of course, ex officio. They are not, there is no pay attached to the tree committee. It's just
Volunteers.
volunteers. But they are qualified, certified arborists, and they know what they're talking about. I just talk, but they really know what they're talking about.
Whatever the trees are that are in front of the town hall, there's also a line of them on the west side of Outhouse
Mhm.
Drive or whatever, and they're all sprouting from the roots. If somebody had their clippers with them, they could get rid of all those suckers.
Well, some, yes, that's true, some of them need some care. What we've mostly been concerned with at Miller Park is that there are some new plantings and water bags
Keep them
that are
alive.
not full of water. So if they are not filled, they're actually preventing infiltration because they are plastic bags.
Yeah.
And they're covering the root zone, so they need to be filled. There's also a buckthorn tree growing in Miller Park where a planted tree didn't make it, and a buckthorn tree, probably some bird came and deposited a seed, and it's going like crazy, and it needs to be cut and herbicided. And I have resisted temptation so far. Just thoughts of getting arrested, kind of.
Okay, I will pass that along, 'cause
Okay, thank you.
I know, Greg's people do things like the smaller stuff, the poison ivy or whatever, but the big trees, I know that's Jim.
That's.
It's with the chainsaws.
Yeah,
Something, it's a major project,
okay,
but there is one really big dead ash there that has not been taken out.
yeah, that would probably be the
But,
highway people.
it would be. Some of the little cemeteries are the trees are very old. Some of them are dead and need to be taken out. But some of them are looking pretty good. That's good to find,
Well, I will
Okay.
pass that along,
Thank you.
so, should I have them reach out to you or Dennis?
Dennis.
Dennis, okay, I'll have them reach out to Dennis if they have any questions,
Okay.
so. Very nice, thank you.
Yes.
Let's see, I think we will go back to our other ones, unless anybody else has anything they'd like to share. Okay. Mike, did you have anything that you'd like to share about the guidelines that we're reviewing? Or sharing comments about?
I looked at them yesterday before I left, reviewed them. I like what we've been doing. Kristen and I, and Mike Murphy and I sometimes, we've been going over the checklists in general, all of the checklists, and trying to improve them. These, I like what they did. In particular, they took away a lot of the vagueness of, you know, an applicant shall do this, this ain't should. And making it like, you need to do these things now. We want to make sure that these rules are taken care of. Not that you might take care of them, you have to take care of them, which makes a lot of sense, especially for, you know, shoreline. The ridgeline guidelines, I was not aware of those, believe it or not. I thought shoreline guidelines was all we had. And then I read the ridgeline guidelines and I said, that makes a lot of sense. It's excellent to keep, you know, like when they're putting in a new house, keep it below the shelf of the ridge line so you can still see the trees and not be obstructed. But I would rather look out of my front door through the trees, out of my front window through the trees, than over the top of the trees and look at the lake. Honestly, you know, so I think what they're doing is excellent. It's the improvements are minimal, but they're necessary.
Now, are these, is the ridgeline one actually in place, or is this some of the drafts that were reviewed at one point in time?
There were guidelines, but they've never been code.
All right.
I don't believe, you know what, Dan would know better. I don't believe that these were something we've ever like looked to or
see different things.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. Yeah.
So you leave it up to the planning
Dan,
board.
do you have some information to share about
Because the people who
the
live along the lake,
guidelines?
they want it open, they want to see the lake.
Oh, you bet. They want it clear cut.
Yeah, and I saw the picture there.
Yeah.
Showed all the trees, and I'm like, no, the people aren't gonna go for that.
Ridgeline, they go in.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
people
I-
they want a view off the ridge, that's why they live on a ridge.
Well,
Sorry.
been a little Cheshire Road lately.
Yeah, I know everybody's talking about that.
And
That's big talk.
That's a town board member.
Sorry about that, Dan.
No, you're fine. I just want to let everybody talk. These are guidelines. They are in place, but they haven't been reviewed in many years. So development staff is just looking for input from the planning board and this board in regards to, are they okay? Or do they need to be updated? Does verbiage need to change? So we're just looking for feedback before staff spends a lot of time on it.
Okay.
Okay. I will.
And if you haven't, talk to Chuck, because he's had to administer them for many years. As, you know, you might get some suggestions from him.
Yeah, we're definitely working with the planning board, and I've talked to Chuck at ordinance as well, and he agrees. It's time to look at these and make sure that everything that the planning board is asking for, and this board as well, is in one of these guidelines so that we have some backup from where you guys are gathering the information. Ultimately, the goal is to have guidelines that when I meet with people before they start their process, I can tell them exactly what you guys are looking for and give them a checklist of items that need to be addressed on their site plans so that when you're reviewing them, we don't have a list of comments that delays a project, that we can just fine tune the projects instead of delaying them.
And it would be nice to have
That's
some of that up front too, because I know in a recent one, there was trees on a plan and somebody had cut down trees. And so sometimes if information was shared a little further upstream, I think there would be a positive thing. You know, things would be helpful for everyone.
Yes.
Because it wasn't code, it was one of those things, when people replace people, they didn't know they even existed in some cases. And so, you know, ends up being a problem for Dan because the planning board catches it and so on.
So, all right, so I know I've started to put together some notes, but I'd like to give everybody time to, look at them, if you have any suggestions of changes or even things to add or whatever, your comments, just send them to me by next Thursday,
Okay.
so a week. And,
I don't have a copy of either because I passed them on to Chuck long ago.
It's probably
Where do you find them now?
on the website, probably.
I don't
actually, they struggled to find some of these
Yeah.
documents.
Because they weren't code, it was
I
hard to
see.
find them.
I see.
I
It's
can,
too bad.
I can share, what's been in Cloud Permit with you.
I appreciate that.
I will do that. Um,
Yeah, can you navigate to the policy in Cloud Permit? I had trouble finding it. So it is in Cloud Permit, the policy we're reviewing here?
correct, there's two of them actually.
Procedures.
do you see the meetings up at the top of the workspace, Gary?
Yeah,
So if you click the
Right.
ECV one, unfortunately, and I've put in a ticket about this.
yeah,
They list all the old stuff,
exactly.
Scroll down.
and so, but if you go here with status and click upcoming, then it will be right on the top of your list.
Okay, I did not click status.
No, that's okay.
But if you scroll down, you can find it too.
You
Yeah.
could, but it's like
Yeah, it's way down.
way down. So yeah, if you go right into the workspace, it will open up a new tab for you. If you have
Right.
any troubles, let me know,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
and then there's the documents that
Yeah.
are in the workspace.
Can you bring it up? Bring it up.
Sure. There's a couple of different ones in here.
it's not real intuitive.
Yeah, that looks familiar.
I agree that when they changed that, so it was showing all the completed ones.
Right,
I sent in a ticket like right away. And I'm like, give us an option. It may be default to the upcoming rather than showing us all the completed.
right.
So, this is one of the documents for the Ridge Line.
Please send me a copy of that, because at the ordinance meeting, we're supposed to be looking at them.
Ridge Line. And, do you need the shoreline as well?
You bet. Yeah,
Okay,
Please.
I can send you those.
Okay.
And if anybody needs printed copies, let me know. I can print out things.
If you would,
Okay,
add me to your list of who to send it to, that would be
sure.
much quicker than me hunting.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, that's.
So this is
I
what
wonder
we're looking
where
at
that
there.
originally
We're
came
looking
from.
at these
And
things.
see if,
Yeah,
If we have comments or,
because I mean, I looked at them and I'm kind of like, wasn't quite clear on what we want.
so the house that you were just talking about that everybody's talking about, the one on Middle Cheshire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so these guidelines are supposed to not let that sort of stuff happen. So it's, or, you know, if they still had the house up there, maybe there was more trees, and I know this committee suggested that. More plantings.
In front.
Yeah.
Break up the,
And I mean, it could have still had his view, but if you have trees,
Right.
you could have stopped
It
his view
would have
from the road.
softened the whole
Yeah.
thing.
So.
Hey, I had a question on that because I know
Sure.
over the years, you know, the Ridgeline was in play, but there were certain developments that had already been approved in the initial phases because it was multi-phased.
Yeah.
But I think at the time we weren't, because it was already approved, there wasn't much we can do with those. I don't know if that's something that'll change in the future, but like generally when you're reviewing these projects, like the ones you're seeing now are ones that were like way back when were approved and there was no way of putting those in effect on them. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I guess moving forward, you know, that might be something that I don't know if they could be worded differently or separately so that they're more or less not grandfathered in and don't have to follow them.
I think that gets to legal sorts of things. I
Right.
think they're in the pipeline already and certain rules would apply, but then, you know, we update stuff, the newer stuff coming in would all those rules would apply. So if it was something that's already been approved by like a planning board or something, I don't think you can really go back and change it.
So I think like Middle Cheshire was one of those areas that had that stuff, and why we're seeing stuff now that, you know, it was already done and said. And then there was a couple other projects I remember where there wasn't much we could do, I guess, back in the day.
I know the one we mentioned was a one-off house.
Okay.
So.
But not part of a big development or anything.
Not a part of a
Okay.
big development, no.
Yeah, the last phase of Lakewood that's adjacent to the Weifels farm.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
classic example. That's on the ridge, but it was already approved as their initial thing 15 or 20 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The planning board, and I hope they will live, made them plant a lot of trees around the perimeter of that project. And of course, you can't make trees grow, but and the follow-up by the code people is very difficult.
I think some of that is hard, and, you know, some of these, so I mean, like, this and not this, I mean, you can have these people plant trees, but, I mean, even if it's like a 2-inch, you know, it's a stick, and they may have like taken down larger trees, so, you know, it's a hard situation.
And there's some
Yeah, I
sort of-
guess.
you can't-
I mean, when I look through it, I'm gonna have some comments, but like, you know,
Yes.
I don't think we have timelines any of these of like we need a certain DBH by whatever. I don't think we get that specific or into the weeds of it, and I don't know if that's something that we need to address. Like, you know, if it's not, I don't know how you would enforce it or do any of that, but you know, if that's the next step to like kind of get to the points where it's like this and not like this, and this is the timeline to accomplish that, or
Well, if you have ideas about, you know, different requirements for trees, definitely note them down, because we're also talking about shoreline guidelines.
yeah, I'll have some big ones on that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know we just reviewed a place where they had like cut down a big cottonwood. The eagles were nesting in there at one point in time. But the time has passed and the eagles haven't been back, so they could they could cut down the tree, but
And then everything else they cut down too.
but it was a large tree, and so a large tree right on the lakeside, it's not equal to the little sticks that they're planting now, so.
And a large tree holds a lot of soil.
It's a lot of soil, yeah.
And
Provides a
doesn't,
lot of shade, provides a lot of habitat, yeah.
and
But
just,
a
it just
cottonwood is
the,
definitely not, they're problematic.
Well, they're not,
this was
not
wasn't
the
next to their
choicest
house, it
trees,
was
but-
right on the lake,
yeah.
so.
So like we're like the town of Canandaigua is unique in the sense with their shorelines that DEC doesn't really have jurisdiction over it because the town has taken that jurisdiction for approving permitting along the shorelines.
Okay.
So that's one of those things where you know, planning board, all that, they all know that, but like it's kind of unique that we have the oversight of that stuff as opposed to other communities that have shorelines and you know that where they have to go through the state to permit it and go through the process. So I guess I got to familiarize myself more with it to understand it, but just to see if there's anything to be borrowed or if I'm sure it's already been gone through and done from that side of stuff, but I wanted to take a look at that.
I think the DEC still controls the actual makeup of the shoreline. I could be wrong.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they
mean high water.
Yeah, mean high water.
Yeah, you can't put concrete in anymore or a break wall.
Right.
You gotta leave it natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
had We had a,
Deflects the way
Yeah.
somebody else,
Yeah.
just erodes someone else's.
we had an application we reviewed just a few months back where they were working with the DEC because they wanted to restore the shoreline to a more natural. Because I believe they had, it was whatever, people did it in the past. But they wanted to restore it to a more natural, so they were having to work with the DEC. But that was like right on the, the edge of the lake.
Yeah.
I think that's still the DEC.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, sorry, just to clarify, I guess more or less with like coastal erosion hazard, stuff like that, that's where that would come into play, sorry, and not so much like, building a wall or whatever. DEC still has jurisdiction over that and what they're putting in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
So, but yeah, any ideas people have, feel free to send them along. I'll put them in the workspaces here. And as long as you can send them out to the whole board if you want, as long as people aren't replying back and forth, it doesn't break the open meeting law. If you got questions, you can send a question back to that one person, and that's fine. But you can't do reply all.
Okay.
So that all works. But yeah, I can make sure that they're shared along. And then there's also there's a shoreline. There's somebody talking out there. I guess they didn't see the sign. And then there's the shorelines. Click that one. So, and then this is, we talk about shoreline guidelines all the time. It's definitely a hot item for the planning board. And they use a lot of our advice in their talking with the folks there. But yeah, this is what you don't want. This is what you want, but cutting down a tree like that to put in, something is a problem because it really changes the whole appearance of that shoreline.
And the erosiveness thereof.
Yeah. But I mean, we see that a lot. People are wanting to take out trees and they have a big landscaping plan, but again, they're like basically putting in sticks.
Quite often, if they would just prune up on the tree and leave the canopy, they'd preserve their view and their tree both.
And some shade.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're trying to develop some of these lots that are really so small, they
Correct.
can't,
Teeny.
they can't do it without damaging the roots and.
Yes, I know.
And they go to the zoning board and try and get relief on the setbacks and so on. It's
I
a
know.
nightmare.
So if you have ideas on this, definitely, I think this is something we've worked with more. And there could also be new ideas. I know one of the, I think it was Mahar, they were talking about like stormwater planners. Because some of these lots are so tiny, they really can't put in any infiltration, but maybe they could put in some stormwater planners for some of like their roof runoff or something. And then that also has greenery that it might work in some of these places that really don't have a lot of space. So, I mean, there might be some suggestions like that we could make too. So, give it a thought. But yeah, by the end of the day, Thursday, and I'll make sure everything's in the workspace so that the development office has all our comments.
So send comments directly to you, Kim, would be best? Okay.
If you wanna copy in everybody else, that's fine. I was just saying before, you can't do like reply all. If anybody has a question, they, and you
Right.
send it out, they should come back and just
Okay.
reply to you.
Yeah.
So, and that works. But, yeah, I thought that would probably work the best for us. Cause I think a lot of people had questions about this one, so. Anything, anybody wants to share about any of these, like, cause we can also put that in the notes. And I will definitely, if everybody wants, I don't think these are large documents, so I can email them all out if that
I
makes
think
sense.
that would be really helpful.
Okay. We'll do that. So that was all I have for tonight, unless anybody has anything else. Alrighty, well, we can adjourn if no one has anything else. I just need a motion.
Okay, so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, everyone have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah, thank you. Stay
Same.
cool.
Same to all of
Cool.
you. Take
Thank you so
care.
much.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Yeah, no.
And it's tourist season
It most certainly is.
for all my relatives.
All you go to Greg's, you'll find out real quick, it's doing season.